In this video presentation, we're going to take a look at how I go about saving my current running configuration over to my startup configuration. Now let's say that since my router's been up, I have made changes to the current configuration, but those configuration changes are not loaded into the non-volatile RAM or the startup configuration file. They're loaded up inside my RAM, and until I copy them over, they are subject to be lost. If I was to lose power or I was to reboot this router without saving them, I would have lost those configuration changes. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go into the privileged executive mode. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in a couple of different commands, because I can do this like 3 different ways as far as saving that current configuration. So let's start off with the standard, as I like to call it, and we're going to type in a copy command. Copy space. Let's do a question mark so we can bring up all the different types of copy that I can do. I want to copy the running config, because that's currently what I've modified at this time. Type in running dash config and give it a space and a question mark. What do you want to copy it to? I want to copy it over to the startup config. Type in startup dash config, then just hit enter. Copy running dash config space startup dash config is the entire command itself. Now the default location for my startup configuration is in NVRAM, and there's a file in there that's called startup config. That is the default. Save it to that. That is good. Building the configuration. Once this is done, it just comes back and lets me know that the copy over to the startup config was successful with an OK prompt. Alright, there it is. Now, that was one way to do it. Here's another way. Type in copy, run, start. Same thing. That's just an abbreviation. Notice that I get the same prompt for the default location. Go ahead and accept it. Again, I'm just going to copy it over to the configuration. Comes back in just a second with another OK, letting me know that it too was successful. Alright, that's 2. What about the other way? Well, you can use a write command. Type in WR space question mark, and this is an old command that's for basically older iOS's. But like everybody else, Cisco is just built on their iOS, so what we've got here is the ability to use some of those old commands. You can use the write command, and what we want to do is copy it over to the non-volatile memory, right? So that would be memory. Write mem. This is a shortcut for write to the memory. Hit enter. Now it just says I'm building a configuration. It doesn't ask me for the default. It just puts it in there. That takes just a second. It's going to come back with another OK command, letting me know that this too was successful. So what you've seen here is 3 different ways for you to back up your current running configuration to the startup config, using the entire command of copy running dash config space startup dash config, or use the abbreviation copy space run space start, or use the older command, which we know as the write command, to basically copy over our current configuration over to our startup config. And remember to save, and to save often.